I hate television. I really hate television. If I could collectively have every single television organisation and station vaporised, I would. I would do it for the good of everyone who is addicted to television and having their brains turned to blancmange without even realising it. If you're a television addict and you're watching stuff on there all the time, you've been brainwashed and you don't even realise it. So I'm going to give you my take on what I've noticed about television and the effect that it has on you, and it used to have on me without you realising it. Just takes over your life and you don't even know it. You becoming completely brainwashed like a zombie, and you think that you're absolutely fine, but you're not. Let's begin with TV series, shall we? I remember I used to watch TV series, and then I used to go and watch it every single week, and then these TV series things became every single day. Now there suddenly you can see an immediate problem, that you don't want to miss your weekly or your daily show, and you say, well, it's nothing, it's just something that I enjoy. Is it really? Well, let's put it this way. If you're watching all of these series on the TV, these soap operas and things, you will not have noticed that you will have started to quote from those TV series. Okay? It's like the ridiculous statement that was made in a Spider-Man movie, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. It sounds really logical, doesn't it? With great power comes great responsibility. It's a quote from Spider-Man. I mean, I don't know if it came from somewhere else originally, but it's become something that's attributed with Spider-Man. Now, with these series, what I've seen happening is this. People come along and they start sitting down, they start watching these series, and before you know it, that's the general course of their conversation. You can have a great conversation with them, no problem, as long as it's about this series. Oh, they'll tell you about it and about the so-called stars, and the star is the sun, remember, which relates to the beast from the pit from the Book of Revelation, Apollyon, the sun god. You know, and they're called stars that are in these in these soap operas. And you're sitting there and you're watching this garbage, and you're watching it religiously, because you don't want to miss it. If you miss it, you're like, oh no, what happened? You know, oh no, you've got to, you know, record it. You've got to watch it. You know, you can't miss it. It's just something that you enjoy, isn't it? That's all. Yeah, well, you could enjoy crack if you're on crack, couldn't you? Yeah, until it wears off, and then suddenly you find that you're in a whole world of misery and pain. And the same thing applies with these soap operas. I've seen people, as I say, quoting from soap operas in real life. I've seen people getting furious about what a character has done in a soap opera. Hello, it's a soap opera. It's not real. But you try telling that to someone who's in a fit of rage over something that some actor who's a witch, a pagan witch, has been saying on one of these series. You're wasting your time. It's like knocking your head against a brick wall. To them, it's become reality, and the reason it's become reality is because it's become a part of their everyday life, because they're now daily events. Soap operas. You've got to see your soap opera every day. I smoke cigarettes. I'm addicted to them. I know I am. But they don't affect my brains. I don't go every single day and talk to people about bloody cigarettes, do I? And tell them all about, oh, I really enjoyed that cigarette at that particular time of day. It's just a bad habit. But soap operas are worse than a bad habit. They're like a disease that gets inside your head slowly. And when you start quoting from a soap opera, you should realise that you have got a problem which has insidiously got itself into your head without you even realising it. Let's just move on for a moment now to talk shows. What happens on talk shows? Well, we've got things like Oprah and, you know, all this other kind of stuff, you know. And you've got the talk show host, you know. and they talk as if they know it all. They know everything. They are a Bible in living form. They are a guru of how you should live. Yeah, you must listen to this person because they're telling you how it is. And what is confirming that everything they're saying is completely true and righteous is the fact that there is clapping going on from the audience. If you've ever been to a studio, you'll find that someone stands there with a board and holds it up, clap, and everyone claps at the right time. Well, they'll put it up on the screen, clap. They also do that with things like boo and hiss and so on, because it's controlling how you think. You're sitting and you're watching this stuff going on, yeah, and the audience have agreed. And you're thinking, oh, well, they've all agreed with what this host has said. Well, I suppose it must be true then. Well, if you believe that, you are terminally stupid. It's a show, like a circus, but it's inside a studio. And the ringmaster is your host, and the clowns are you, because you're being controlled by the audience reaction. So if the host tells you, well, yes, yeah, well, I agree with that, that's absolutely right, and I think that's perfectly correct, and everyone claps, you think, oh, well, everyone's agreed with that. Talk show says, no, I don't agree with that, this is completely wrong, and they all clap. You think, well, it must be wrong because they've all clapped. Do you know that that is actually a very effective sales technique which is used at so-called seminars where people sell you stuff like you know, pills that are supposed to help your nails grow and, you know, vitamins and all this stuff. I'm not going to name any names, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, I went to one of these and I sat and watched it. I couldn't believe what I was watching. You know, it was so obvious that the people that were standing up and testifying to these pills made out of some plant that's been picked out of some forest has got all of these properties. That they were those people were, for want of a better word, they were planted in the audience, and they get up and they give a testimony which was lies as to how good they were, and then they start selling you the stuff, and you walk away with £150 worth of rubbish that you were supposed to go and sell to members of your family because, you know, they would buy from you. What are they saying, that all of your family is stupid as well? Well, hopefully they're not, and you're the only one that got shafted for 150 quid and got stuck with a load of pills from the so-called Amazon or wherever it is they claim they got them from, that don't do absolutely nothing, and you can't sell them unless you run a seminar like they do, and have people standing up and giving false testimonies. And this this canned clapping that goes on these shows is a false testimony because they are told to clap on cue. So that gets into your mind, and you start to believe that, well, what this talk show host said is right, and or this other thing that they said, that's, you know, they disagree with it, that's correct as well, and you start to get sucked into it, and you start to believe it, and it starts to become part of your mindset, and it starts to control your life, and you'll hear people saying the most ridiculous things, and it becomes something that goes throughout societies all over the world because of these shows. Go on to the news. The news is the biggest clown show ever on this earth. I've stopped watching the news. I've stopped watching all TV basically, and I feel much better for it. I remember one of the things I always watched was the so-called news, and I would follow it, inverted commas if you like, religiously. I'd watch the news. I needed to know what was going on. Recently there's been like a war in Libya and stuff like that. I didn't know about that until about a week later, and when I heard about it, you know, people saying, what do you think about it? I said, I don't care. Well, you don't care about a war, you don't care about these people getting killed. Well, yeah, I care about that, because that's murder, because God said, thou shalt not kill. But yeah, what about the politics of it? I don't care. I'm not interested. Why? Because it's all stage managed. In case many of you don't actually realise this, for instance with wars, did you know that every single military in the world uses the tactics of a very well-known historic figure? That very well-known historic figure is called Alexander the Great. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, the British military, the American military, the Greek military, the Turkish military, the French military, etc., 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 etc. They all use the war tactics of Alexander the Great, who is Apollyon, the destroyer, the beast from the pit, from the book of Revelation. Revelation 9:11 describes him, and so does Revelation 13:11. He was the son of Zeus. So you see, all of the military using his tactics confirms that he was a real person. But his dad was Zeus. And Zeus is the devil, according to the book of Revelation. Pergamon, Jesus said, I know where you live, where the throne of Satan is. And the throne of Zeus is in Pergamon. So we've got this character, Apollyon, Alexander the Great, who is the son of the devil, and all the military in the world follow his war tactics. Okay, so if you're wondering why wars happen, well, I think there's your answer. All the military are trained to follow the war tactics of the son of the devil himself, Alexander the Great, Apollyon the destroyer. By the way, Alexander the Great was deformed. He had two little horns on his head. And if you look at his coins, you'll see that. If you look at the coins of Alexander the Great, you'll see little horns there. Revelation 13:11 says, I saw a second beast rise from the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, but he spoke like a dragon. Alexander the Great had two little horns, and he had a really harsh voice. So I know where all wars come from. They come from the devil, because God said, thou shalt not kill. But this happens, and then of course we've got the news showing us this stuff with wars in Libya and stuff like that, and you remember the Iraq war and so on and so forth. This is all, whatever way you look at it, the tactics used were the tactics of Alexander the Great. Whatever machinery was used is irrelevant whether you believe any of it existed in the past or not. It's the tactics of Alexander the Great. So if I'm being shown the tactics of Alexander the Great, and I'm being told that this person is a dictator, this person is a tyrant, this person is a monster. There was one guy, they said that he was an African president of one of the African countries, and they said he was eating people's testicles. Okay, well, says who? Said the news? Well, that's one way of making people sit back in revulsion, isn't it? You know, oh, he eats people's testicles? He's a maniac. Yes, what are we going to do? Don't forget Saddam Hussein, weapons of mass destruction. Oh, we could all die in 20 minutes. What happened to that? There was no weapons of mass destruction. It was all rubbish. And the news previously to all that happening said that, Saddam Hussein was having the Hanging Gardens of Babylon rebuilt, and he was having his name put on all the bricks. Big mistake. Only the name of the sun god goes on the bricks, otherwise you die. And what happened to Saddam Hussein? Well, as you know, he was hanged. And what did the news do? They lied to us about how he was hanged as well, and said that the prayer was said and all the rest of it, until someone's mobile phone footage was released on the internet showing that they were cursing and abusing him, and he swore back at them. There's nothing dignified about murdering anyone, and killing someone is murder. So God said, thou shalt not kill. So I know that that's wrong. So they killed Saddam Hussein. Ah, yes, but he was a murderer. You killed him. If you killed him, you are a murderer too. Armies, whatever, all the tactics of Apollyon, it's just a job. It's just a job, is it? To follow the tactics of the beast from the pit from the book of Revelation. The biggest murderer ever known in the history of the entire world. Second only to the devil, his father. Only second only to the devil himself. What a load of rubbish. I can't believe what's on the news, because you just see a little box. Oh, look what happened there. Pan the camera around, guys. Show us what's going on behind the camera and to the sides. Oh no, you don't need to. All you need to see is that little bit there that we're showing you. There it is. That's the news. That's what happened. And you must believe us because we are an official news organisation. We have a good reputation. Yeah, self-given reputation is no reputation at all. So I don't believe the news, I don't believe talk shows, I don't believe TV series other than as something that brainwashes you insidiously into believing whatever they want you to believe, just like what happened with Iraq. There's weapons of mass destruction, we're all going to die, we've got to do something. Do it for your country, thou shalt not kill. What happened to that? I don't hear any politicians saying thou shalt not kill. They just keep saying do it for your country. That's not what God said. God said thou shalt not kill. But none the same, they go out and kill, and it's called a job. Murder is not a job. Murder is murder. You kill someone, you're a murderer. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a uniform and you've been given the so-called authority to go and kill people by your commander and by your country's leader and all the rest of it. It's still murder, killing people. That's not a job. That's something that you will pay for when Jesus Christ arrives back. You will have to account for what you have done. So, television sickens me to the core. I wish it didn't exist, and one day it won't exist. And as far as I'm concerned, this brainwashing rubbish of television deserves to be burning in hell along with its inventors, its participants, and its owners. And of course, that is my personal opinion. But I think that it's a very valid personal opinion that television slowly and surely takes over your thought processes, how you think, the pictures you see in your mind. You're being told a vision into your brain and you believe it. And even if it's a play, you start to believe it if you're watching it every single day. Because if someone was to tell you, for instance, that you're beautiful every single day, even if you're not, well then you start to feel it and believe it. If I told you you're ugly every single day, well then you might start believing that too. You know, the Bible says a fool believes anything that he hears. Well, let me tell you now, I don't believe anything that I hear from the television. Nothing at all.